Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. In our ongoing coverage of the civil war taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia, we are going to now look at what is next in terms of the conflict. We continue to see Abiy loyalists flow northwards towards the border with the Tigray region, and ultimately the question right now many folks are asking is Abiy Ahmed going to re-invade the Tigray region? Are they going to conduct a full-on re-invasion of the Tigray region with the goal of seizing Mekelle, Shire, Axum, and other cities throughout the Tigray region? Are they looking to conduct a limited operation in which they secure quite possibly areas such as Korem and Alamata and create some sort of buffer zone, much like the Tigrayan Defense Forces had also done previously in its advance deep into the Amhara region prior to withdrawing from those areas? But again, both of those options are going to come at a tremendous cost. So, first and foremost, the Tigray region has fully mobilized. This is not the Tigray region that existed in terms of military capability when we observed both the Eritrean army and the Abiy loyalist army invade the Tigray region. Again, the type of mobilization that had been conducted in the Tigray region again was nowhere near what we're currently seeing in terms of the vast amount of mobilization that has occurred inside of the Tigray region. So again, in terms of launching a military operation into Tigray, obviously we're not seeing the same sort of movement right now in terms of Eritrean activity into the Tigray region. Now, could that change at some point? Possibly, but hypothetically, if the Abiy loyalists reinvade the Tigray region without the support of the Eritrean army as they had before, then obviously they're going to be at a much greater disadvantage as there would not be a two-front war, the likes of which we have observed before. So again, you're looking at this Abiy loyalist army invading the Tigray region, again, fully mobilized, in excess of 200,000 personnel. So the question is would they be successful? Would they even have the ability of advancing up the A2 highway, given the amount of resistance and greater resistance that they would naturally face in a renewed invasion of the Tigray region? So again, that is something that we want to look at obviously very closely. Has the Abiy loyalist army become bigger? I would say in some cases, in terms of manpower, obviously, they have resorted to mass conscription, and there is a lot of pressure for individuals in the Abiy loyalist controlled areas to join the military. But again, I would say that the real issue in terms of what has caused any form of success by the Abiy loyalists, again, harkens back to the deployment of some of those advanced weapon systems deployed by the Turks, by the People's Republic of China, by the United Arab Emirates, by Iran. Again, a host of nations and a host of assets have helped and assisted the Abiy Ahmed regime in its military activities of recently. And again, if we just look back several weeks ago, the regime of Abiy Ahmed was on the verge of collapse, and the only thing that saved Abiy's butt was the deployment of these Turkish drones and additional Turkish assets as well. And I'm not going to rehash that. We've talked about that before. But again, I wanted to look at what is really kind of next. What is going to happen next? And again, either way you look at this, unless there's some sort of negotiated settlement that is taking place in the background, where we could see the forces separate, and the conditions to have Tigray declare its independence occur, and quite possibly the removal of Amhara regional militias and Eritrean forces from Western Tigray occurs. We're going to see this conflict continue. Again, it will continue to be an industrial strength insurgency with very much elements of conventional warfare. And at the same time, you're going to continue to see the Oromo Liberation Army very active as well. So again, the idea that if you are a supporter of the Abiy loyalist and you believe that this is over outside of a political agreement in which there is a separation of the forces, and everyone goes about their own lives, this is going to continue, and you will continue to see the Abiy loyalist economy continue to collapse. You will continue to see hyperinflation. You will continue to see Western businesses avoid the Horn of Africa, especially the former state of Ethiopia. You will continue to see this sort of degrading of the Abiy state. And there's no doubt that is going to occur, and it continues to occur as we speak, in terms of the economic situations. And obviously, as those economic situations continue to erode, we will continue to see more and more what you would define as the Abiy loyalist not become an Abiy loyalist. When an individual starts paying a month's salary for a kilo of rice, that tends to change one's outlook on the leaders that are in current power. So again, that is one facet of this that we'll continue to monitor as well. But again, the old saying, "Don't count your chickens before they hatch," I would say is definitely is definitely very much the case at this point in terms of this conflict and how it's going. Remember, I talked about momentum swings and then miscalculations, and obviously, if we see another reinvasion of the Tigray region by the Abiy loyalists, that would, quite frankly, be the ultimate miscalculation. And again, we're probably looking at the same sort of situation, but many, many, many times worse in terms of just the tragedy that occurred, the human tragedy, and then obviously the military tragedy that will also incur if that in fact happens. Again, the Tigray region fully mobilized, has still a very, very capable and robust force, much more powerful than the force again we observed in the later stages of 2020. Again, it is night and day in terms of the combat capabilities and the mobilization that has occurred since the later stages of 2020, when the invasion occurred by Eritrea and the Abiy loyalists. But we're going to continue to monitor the situation. We continue to hear about forces of the Abiy loyalists continuing to move north. Now the question is, are we looking at a renewed invasion of the Tigray region? And what does this look like in the next days and weeks ahead? We're going to continue to cover and track the events at hand and absolutely report. There is some concern, obviously. There are other events happening in the world that are going to overshadow this event. And we're going to still cover. We are not going to change our stance, and we are going to continue to focus our efforts on covering this war that has not had its due coverage. So again, have a good evening, everybody, and we'll talk again very soon.